Hey, welcome to the Backwoods Gourmet. Today I have another trusted review right here from our outdoor kitchen. 13-inch Kamado grill from London Sunshine. So stay tuned. As you know, here at the Backwoods Gourmet, we have all kinds of devices to cook on, from Dutch ovens to propane burners to pellet grills to good old-fashioned charcoal smokers. We got a very big variety of equipment to use here, but one thing I don't have is a Kamado or a ceramic style grill. The thing that's kept me away from that so far is the price. You'll be surprised, this little guy right here comes in at less than 250 bucks. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to unbox it, show you all the pieces. We're going to put it together, and I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions on that. We're going to fire this baby up for the first time and cook up a really, really nice dinner. So if you're interested in one of these guys, please see the links right down below, as well as all the other links to the other equipment and things that we've reviewed that we recommend. Hopefully this guy makes the list. All right, let's get this guy out of the box. They asked me what color I wanted. They make it in black, green, red like the one I got, and orange. And I figured I got everything I got in here is black. All my Weber stuff, Blackstone, pellet grill. Let's break the mold, go with a different color this time. So let's go ahead and get it out of the box. It comes pretty well packed. Open her up, and then we'll start pulling all the pieces out, as well as the instructions. All right, I'm gonna start just pulling all the pieces out. It's in a nice cardboard enclosure in here, or styrofoam, kind of a cradle. Doesn't look like there's any damage to it at all. I wish some of the other manufacturers would actually do a better job at packing their stuff. I have to end up straightening things that got bent and so on and so forth. We'll start by getting it out of here. I did find one loose nut. I'm sure we're going to need that. One loose nut laying inside. I'm assuming this is the package here. Let's go ahead and put him back in there. So don't get straightened out. Big piece of styrofoam protecting it. All right, it's down in here. Let me show it to you real quick. I know this sucker's going to be heavy, so I'm going to put it down on the floor. So one little tip, check over your packing and your box real well. I did find another one of these little dome nuts sitting down in the top of the thing there. So I noticed most of them are come pre-installed, ready for you to loosen back up to put together, but it looks like a few of these have fallen off. We'll put those back in that bag for safekeeping. Assemblies next. Okay, so I'll finish open up all the other packages. They do send you a couple of tools that you can put this thing together with. Most all of those dome nuts on there are 10 millimeter. I got my extension 1/4-inch drive for the driver, as well as the old 10 millimeter socket. I know, the hardest one you have to find in your toolbox. They use them for everything. But we're going to use our Makita to put this thing together because there's quite a few nuts and bolts. But if you don't have any tools at all, they were, you know, good enough to supply at least something you can put it together with. So we'll go ahead and get the stand put together. That's the first step. So in the little bubble wrap package inside there was those two tools and 2 nuts and bolts. Well, actually 2 screws and a nut. It's not a dome nut, it's a regular flat nut. I laid the 2 pieces of the stand. It's very obvious this was indented, so this one goes on top. Okay, we're going to drop that screw to you. You can see where it's already countersunk for it. Put this screw on the back, or the nut on the back. Here, you don't have to worry about torque. Let's go ahead, we'll zip that together. And we'll square it up. Here we go. So I did find where my loose nuts came from. You see these are just loosely secured onto this top ring that's going to help hold the Kamado grill. Now you are going to have to kind of, you know, figure out which ones of these are going to line up. And it's going to be critical that you get it right. So we're going to figure it out, and I believe it's going to be that one right there. All four of them seem to line up with the legs. So we'll take the nuts off. They're just finger tight. Get those bolts lined up in the holes. Now that our stand is put together, next up is to go ahead and put the grill into the stand, and it is pretty heavy, as you could imagine. All right, and I'm gonna kind of line it up to where it's straight. All right, now that it's in the stand, I'm gonna lift it up. Of course, I'm gonna take this packing out. I'm gonna lift all the innards out of it here and unpack all of it now that it's safely on its stand. There's the fire bowl right there. Take it out, carefully set it aside. We got a bunch of protective stuff inside there. Get that out of the way. Alright. Now, I'm going to peel all the stuff off of here, some parts inside that we need. So next thing to go in, this is your charcoal holder. It goes in the bottom of the fire bowl. There also is a notch on the bottom of the fire bowl. That needs to be toward your vent, which in this case is facing to the front. So I want to face that vent towards it. Alright, then here's our grill, and you can see the size of the cooking surface. Okay, it's about 11.5 inches. Alright, that goes on top. And if you're like me and Mrs. Backwoods, just us around here, we don't need to make huge portions all the time. You know, this is going to come real in handy for just cooking for 2 people. Why? Because not in the instructions, the handle that says London Sunshine, that's the one that fits perfectly without a tweak onto your lid. But just look out for that, because it doesn't say that in the instructions to use the one with the logo for the lid. So get it on there, we'll tighten it down. Really not too concerned about this because these screws don't go through the ceramic. So we're just going to tweak them down. Just nice and easy like we had everything else. Alright, looks like the final thing is our regulating cap. It's pretty intuitive there. Swings as well as rotates. Alright, there she is, fully assembled. It wasn't hard. Only took a few minutes with the Kita there. If you didn't have that, maybe you're just using a regular socket, or it probably wouldn't take very long either. Using that tool that came with it, it's going to take quite a bit longer. But seems to be very well made. It's got a nice typical gasket you see in your upper end smokers. So down here is the damper, okay, and I see that it's dual purpose, so you can slide one way and one the other. Seems a little flimsy that way, but guess that keeps it from shooting out sparks. And I'm assuming you can move both of them over to help empty out any charcoal ashes. that might be in there. Okay, bamboo handles. The grill is a nice thick gauge, like that. And there's the temperature gauge, and we already looked at that. So, and I went back and looked at these directions, and I did not find any place for any of those screws. So I guess they were just extras. And I don't see any place on the little grill that looks like it's missing a screw. So there we go. That's complete assembly of the London Sunshine 13-inch Cadet, they call it, Kamado grill. Let's fire it up next. Since I'm no expert at the Kamado grill, I'm going to follow their lighting instructions on here, which kind of sounds weird to me. And they're telling us to keep that bottom vent open all the way till it gets up to the desired temperature, then close it off completely. We'll see how that works. Now, if you guys got experience on these things and know a better way, leave it for everyone in the comments below. Believe me, you're not just going to help me out, but you're going to help everybody watching this video who's just learning out how to use a Kamado, just like me. So the directions say to take some paper and put down below this charcoal disc down here in the bottom. I'm going to use some of the charcoal bag. It may be too much. May take a little bit of it out. Alright, it's a small area. Put that back in. Put our charcoal right on top. Today, only thing I could find, this lump, which also recommended, is royal oak. And I can probably tell you right now that's going to be way too much. Take some of them giant pieces out of there. Alright, hopefully it's going to burn nice and slow. There we go. Let's go about 3/4 of the bowl, and we're going to open up the vent at the bottom. Shoot some flame in there. So to light it up, we're going to use the Blazer grill gun. We got a link to this in the description box below for a nice discount on it. It is awesome. And throw some fire to her down there. Get that paper started. Great item for starting fires and campfires. You can even start it when it's wet with this guy, and it's a lot of fun. All right, so we're doing a little cowl on this thermometer here, and you can see this says I'm at about 260, 265. Thermopin says, who's accurate within 1/10 of a degree, she's at 306. Now I might test it with some of my others, the Maverick, something like that, but as typical, these stock thermometers, just like with the Weber and the rest of them, I have one of the only Weber grills that has an accurate thermometer built into it. But yeah, 306 on Thermopin, now it's down at cooking level, so maybe some little bit of difference. You'd think this one would be higher, but just I wanted to get that reference to make sure that I know that it's actually a little hotter in there than what I'm reading on here. Okay, so we got that Kamado all come up to temperature. Let that thing stabilize a little bit. It's doing pretty good, like I just showed you. Thermometer's off a little bit. We'll just take that into account. We want to cook today at about 275, 300 anyway. So right where we got it set right now is pretty good. So let me show you what we're going to put on that thing for the first cook. So I figure since the holidays are coming up, here we got Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that coming up. Today we're going to do some Cornish hens. I'm going to show you how to do them on the grill, on the smoker. You can do this on your Weber also. And these things are perfect for you know, a couple people. So I'm going to attempt to do on these little guys the same way I prepare my chickens for bacon. I'm going to tuck these wing tips up underneath that breast skin, and that's going to bring some, hey, that fatty wing tip is going to bring some fat to your breast meat, and it's going to keep it from burning. So let's see if we can do it on the little bird the way we can the big bird. Let me zoom in for you. So I'm going to pull the wing tip back. I'm going to take my very sharp knife, make a very small incision in the skin right at that wing joint right there. Then we're going to take our finger, kind of lift that up, and then just poke your wing right up in there. All right, just like that. See how it tucks nicely and neatly under the skin? Okay, do it on the other side as well. All right, we'll fold the wing back right at the wing joint. Very small incision with a sharp knife. And be careful. If you cut it too big, it won't stay. So we lift up the wing, the skin there, and just poke your whole wing right up in next to the breast. Now your wing tips are totally tucked. Get that in the camera. See how they're totally tucked inside. Now they're no longer flapping around. Now I'm going to try to do my skin truss technique with the back of these little birds. Let's see if it works. Alright, so I'm going to try my leg tuck trussing technique to close up the back. These are very, very fragile small birds. I'm going to cut about a hole just smaller than this knuckle of his leg on the opposite side of the flap from we used to cover his cavity there. Then I'm going to bring that leg over and work it right through the skin just like that. Now you see that skin's holding this leg. Now hopefully we got enough skin on this side. We're going to pull it out tight just like that. And this is the most important part, is the hole and how big it is. Just push the tip of the knife through. Alright, then we'll try to work that knuckle right through that hole. Now that little guy is totally trussed with his own skin. We'll do the other one the same way. Alright, next thing we're going to do with these guys is go ahead and give them some aromatics. In the cavity, I got 2 fresh sprigs of rosemary right off the plant there. I'm going to shove that up inside of the cavity. These guys, you got to kind of cut it in half. Right up in the cavity there. It's going to give that, especially that breast meat, a lot of aromatics. Now we're going to go ahead and just give them a simple seasoning, salt, pepper, and garlic. All right, let's go ahead and just give these guys a good dose. Today I'm using Killer Hogs AP, salt, pepper, garlic. There's a lot of brands out there. I find this one's a good blend. 2. Kind of make them touch to get them completely over the fire. They do fit in there just fine. Let's close them up. Alright, it's been about an hour and a half. I've been struggling with the temp on these, going in, checking them. Breast meat 187, probably a little overdone at this point. And as you can see, we'll look at the bottom. Wasn't exactly even cook. And you guys in the comments let me know what I did wrong. I had a hot spot kind of back here. Maybe I didn't let this charcoal get fully involved before I put them on. Possibly that was the issue. So what we're going to do now is modify this iron skillet. And I got some veggies in there. So that's sweet potato, butternut squash, onion, and carrots with a little butter, rosemary, and thyme. We're going to go ahead, crank the fire up. We're going to open up this damper on the bottom. Try to get that bad boy up to about 400. And I'll let those go for a minute. And that'll be a compliment to our Cornish game hens right there. They don't look bad at all. Let's go ahead and flip her over. They look pretty good, other than the backside of that one got a little toasty, but overall, they look pretty good. Serve this up for you, and they're very, very pretty. Check the temp on all those. I think they're going to be just a little overdone. Probably would have helped to cook them at a little higher temperature. I am still training on that grill. Here's our roasted winter veg in the cast iron. It was right up there on the London Sunshine Grill, Kamado grill. Got a little more of the rosemary right there for garnish. There you are. It's a grilled Cornish hen with roasted vegetables. Dig into that. So let's go in there and give this a try. Cut a little bit of that breast meat off. It is really nice and done. Oh, steaming hot. Very good, but a little overcooked. I'm assuming, we told you that earlier in the video. We're going to assume that it was a little overcooked. The roasted veggies, pretty daggum good right there. You know, we put those in that cast iron, it helps protect them and hold some of the juices in. Or some of that roasted carrot, nicely caramelized. So the whole dish turned out really good on a little baby London Sunshine Kamado grill. You know, this is my very first cook with the thing. I gotta you know, practice with it a little bit on the heat control. Again, I think that you know, thermometer accuracy off quite a bit. We'll talk to them guys about that, see what they can do about it. But overall, it cooked great. So appreciate you sticking around all the way to the taste test on this video, but stick around just a little bit longer and I'm going to give you my full review of the London Sunshine 13-inch Cadet Kamado grill. Stay tuned. So I've been out here all afternoon testing the new London Sunshine baby little Kamado grill. It's kind of very similar to the big green egg. I guess you would call this like a quail egg. I mean, really small. Good enough for cooking for, you know, 2 people like we did for it today. I'll admit, first of all, that I have a lot of learning to do. This does cook quite differently from a normal grill. I think during this cook I may have made a few mistakes of not letting it warm up long enough and getting all the charcoal fully involved for this cook to begin with. Again, every new piece of equipment you get is going to have a learning curve attached to it. Second of all, price of this grill is very, very inexpensive as an entry-level Kamado's type grill. $229 brand new, right off of their website. Leave you a link down there if you want to go check it out. Check out some more of their details. The biggest problem I had was a little uneven. I think that was mainly due to the way that the lump charcoal, you know, it's larger pieces. It doesn't separate the heat as big, but most of all of these Kamado style grills want you to use the lump type charcoal, including the big green egg and all the big names. Okay, here's the problem with such a small size is that charcoal is very close to what you're cooking. That's why I think we experienced some hot spots in the grill. I didn't get as much top heat as I would hoped I would had. You know, things were getting nice and brown on the bottom, but not really on the top, which kind of defeats the purpose of a Kamado grill, I think. Now, that, again, going back to the problem the issue I stated about earlier, maybe I didn't let it warm up long enough, and maybe, you know, I just am dumb about how to use it. So, I'm going to keep playing with the thing, all right, and hopefully I will learn more about the way it works and how to use it properly. Okay, so going back and in summary, if you already own a Weber kettle grill and you're looking to buy a Kamado style grill, I would say don't bother. All right, this little baby guy right here is $229, but you can buy a full size, you know, regular 22 Weber for $219. You can do much more on that big 22 Weber kettle grill, and I think it would have done actually as good or better job on the meal we cooked today on that Weber kettle. Weber doesn't pay me a dime, nor does London Sunshine. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. If you want a Kamado and you already own a Weber, maybe go check this guy out. Otherwise, if you don't have that type of grill, I would much rather you go spend your money on a Weber kettle. You're going to be able to do a whole lot more with that unit than you are going to be able to do with this little London Sunshine. That's just my opinion, right here from the Backwoods Gourmet. You know, always give it to you straight, and never, you know, just because somebody sends me something for free doesn't mean I'm going to sing its praises. So if you like what you're seeing, please smash that like button right down there. You can subscribe to our channel right over here for a whole playlist of cooking on the Weber kettle grill. It'll be right over there. And for whatever YouTube decides you should watch next, gonna be right up there. We'll see you next time.